Good morning. Good morning. Big Square, roadtoroot.com. Hang on one second. Working on the lighting. Um, yeah. Uh, I did a private road post on an update of where we are. Here we are at September 11th. Um, Big long update for private road members on kind of what's going on behind the scenes, some new information about 2008. And then I did a my morning Horn of Zeese, and the internet was down, 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 down. And I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? 9/11, you're really gonna have an internet outage just to poke the conspiracy bear. Um, and I checked around. There's a lot of outages. They're spotty, but around here, my area, the Bay Area, there's a lot. And the big cities, there's a lot. So I don't know. Is anybody else having? Well, then again, we won't probably get chats, in the chat room because the internet's down. But I'm using my phone. It's so most of you guys are probably the internet is up because you are able to join in the chat. But yeah, yeah, it went down. I'm like, man, because I did a Horn of Z's. I'll post it later when the internet comes back up. They say 12:30. It is now like what is it 8:30 here, something like that. Um, like Lisa, stay away from public places. Yeah, just absolutely keep your eyes and ears open. And my take is everything will happen behind the scenes. If there's anything monetarily, there's a lot of news out there last night and this morning that I talk about on the update that I posted for the private road members. So now's a good time to join the private road. You also get 100 theta and 500 theta fuel. And if Michelle White Dove is correct that the theta will go into the thousands, yeah, I'm giving out $100,000 at some point if she's correct. And Michelle is damn brilliant when it comes to seeing the future, and her psychic readings are pretty spot on for the most part. I'm just saying. And there wasn't much I wanted to talk about today other than to keep your eyes and ears open, your wits about you. The financial collapse is an ongoing process. I talk about it in the video I posted at Rotorua on September 11th, 2008, when Ken Jaworski said they pulled out 550 billion in amount in like an hour out of the money market funds. The stock market went up. It went up 200 points, which is the equivalent of like a 600 point up day. So you can have the system falling apart behind the scenes and nobody knows what's going on until weeks and months later, just like what happened in September, October, November of 2008. So I do think we're there. There's a lot of signs that the computers are going crazy behind the scenes, and I talk about those in today's post. So go check it out. I also talk about in the thing that I was not able to get online because the internet went down. I talk about YouTube and censorship. Snippy's back up, but he's talking about some stuff. I'm like, oh, Snippy, don't go there so fast. And also, I would say Sean at SGT Reports putting out some great information. It's really frustrating and it pisses me off that the YouTube management has decided to steer public opinion where they want it to go, and no matter how deep statey they are, YouTube was funded originally by the U.S. government, the CIA, In-Q-Tel, and those companies. The patent for YouTube was filed in 1999, even though the three guys who invented YouTube said there was a dinner party in 2006. They are lying. It is a deep state operation all the way, 100%. Just look at the patent filed by none other than Mark Collins Rector. And then you can go down that road and it's bad news. Deep state all the way, gets into cryptos as well. So just be careful out there. Now's the time you should be ready to understand that you're Coinbase account might disappear. Your Kraken account might disappear. Your Fidelity account might disappear. Keep your assets in your own possession for the next, from now till the end of the year. I'll be giving road updates on the road to Ruta, and as well as the YouTube channel and on Patreon. So join as you will, and we will continue down this road of the Ruta. One of the most important things, if you're just joining the road to Ruta, I had a whole bunch of new people after the Dave X22 interview. A whole bunch of new people joined. I want to thank everybody for joining the road to Ruta. You got a lot of homework to catch up to where most of these people are on the road to Ruta. But it's all there. Go to roadtoruta.com. Watch that first video, Discovering the Road to Ruta. And that story really hasn't changed all that much, other than the cryptos coming into play. Because that story was developed. I discovered the Road to Ruta documents out of the Fed back on January 1st of 2007. So before crypto. So there was an evolution, but it's still the same thing. There are people behind the scenes working to destroy the old system, and now they try to do it with credit default swaps and mortgage-backed derivatives. Wasn't big enough. So now they're going to do it with global debt, mainly the bond bubble that's happening right now. When that blows, they're going to need a multi-trillion-dollar bailout package for the banks, and it ain't going to happen. Keep in mind that Deutsche Bank or JP Morgan has increased their derivative position in the first quarter by $11 trillion. You cannot tell me that that's normal. From 48 trillion to 59 trillion. That ain't normal. And that is a absolute sign that things are shaky in the background. And listen to Christian Sowing, the head of Deutsche Bank, and I talk about what he said about the negative interest rates. So check those out. And I am, as I said yesterday, I'm going to pick grapes tonight at midnight. But the weird thing is, I have a discussion with John Kim, Bitcoin Ben, and Jason at 4 on tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock my time. And there's no internet up there, so I'll be up there picking grapes, and then I'll go find a place with internet, and I'll do it from the road on Thursday morning. I don't know if it's going to be live or we're going to post it later, but all 4 of us will be posting it. And it's about the Litecoin conference and the party, and a couple announcements about extra events at the Litecoin summit. So make sure you're going to the party and the summit. It's going to be a blast. If you want one of the last remaining tickets to the Road to Ruta event, which is October 27th from probably 1 till 9 or 10 at night, full days, activities, send me an email, bix@roadtoruta.com. It costs 1 Litecoin. 1 Litecoin, non-refundable. If the banks crash and we don't have it, it's non-refundable. I think everything's going to hopefully stay in place, and hopefully the powers that be have plans, but you never know. I see this collapse happening much like the 2008 collapse, although I don't think there will be a bailout. And then we'll find out what really happens when we stop the can from being kicked down the road, and also we don't pass on this problem to our kids. I think that's the most important thing that we need to think about. As painful as it's going to be to go through this kind of transition, just think about how our kids would have to deal with a problem 1,000 times bigger, just like our grandparents gave this problem to us. So I'm not going to do that to my kids. I'm going to fight damn hard for their financial freedom. So yeah. Oh, look at that. Somebody's been Ludus CZ been following Bix for 8 years now. Thank you for trust and faith. And what I try to do, I try to explain to people not just what I'm thinking, but how I got there, and all the clues that I've tried to put together, and they all fit. It's one of those magical puzzles that you're like, oh, that's why that happened. That's why we created the Federal Reserve. That's why everybody's so scared to go away from that. That's why they bailed it out. Blah blah blah. So somebody in the chat said, "You're live, but I thought your internet was down." Absolutely. I'm on 5G on my phone right now. So the 5G is working while the internet, at least our service provider, is not. And I heard there's quite a few that it's spotty. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. Do I think it's something bigger connected to 9/11? Who knows? Too soon to tell. If it turns into something big nationwide, it hits the news. Yes, the internet has been down. Then I would start the little panicking, say, "Oh shit!" Somebody clicked the mouse, and it could get worse and worse. I would I would not be surprised if from here on out to the rest of the year, if we have financial turmoil, there will be a lot of outages, forced and non-forced, of internet. They don't want information getting out there. That's a fact. Just look what they're doing on YouTube. They don't want that information getting out of there. Mine glitched this morning, back up now. Yeah, I think at least my provider is, it's not Comcast, it's Xfinity. Is that the same? I don't even know if that's the same. But let's see. Cliff High could probably tell us why we're having internet outages 18 years to the day after 9/11. Yeah, 18 years to the day after 9/11, 2001. It's 11 years to the day after the banks pull out all the money, or the electronic run on the bank in 2008. It's 7 years to the day after Benghazi. Yeah, 3 banks closed near my house. I don't know. Just keep it up. Yes, there'll be a lot of conspiracy stuff. It's easy to go down the conspiracy path. Check out Will. Yeah, Wine Chick. Go check out Will Lair from Perpetual Assets. Sound person, great company. He'll help you out, whatever you need. Those guys are amazing about helping people, one, get their hand on cryptos and silver, but mainly the self-directed IRA, where you get your retirement account in your own possession. You can still invest in stocks and bonds, anything you want, but it's in your own possession. I don't advise of investing in stocks and bonds because those are derivatives that are rehypothecated. But I do advise holding metals in your own possession and cryptos in your own possession. George Webb is ahead of everybody, so says S. Carlisle. I agree, but there's a lot of conspiracy stuff there, and it gets a little dicey when you get some, because a lot of these conspiracy guys, they'll give you good information, and then all of a sudden they're a deep state operative, and they'll give you information that they want you to. It's so hard. It's so hard to figure out what's real and what's not real. All the fake conspiracy news and the real conspiracy news. 9/11, 2001 obviously was not what they say it was. And there's been so much great information. A new report came out today about Building 7, how it is impossible for that building to fail. So it had to have been rigged to fail. And yeah, if you can't get your head around the 2 twin towers falling, they got hit by airplanes. Of course they fell. Well, structurally, engineers are saying no. But even if you can't get your head around that, Building 7, there is no explanation other than it was rigged with charges to fail. And then it gets to, okay, somebody knew what was going to happen on that day and had the wherewithal in that building and the security to rig it up. It would take, I think they said it would take at least a month to do something like that. A month of time when you're bringing in explosives and working on. So there's a lot of people who were involved in 9/11. And yeah. Bix would never rip off his subs the way Jason and Ford. Well, come on. Go easy on Snippy. There's no ripping off of subs when it comes to personal choice, whether to subscribe to someone or not. If you're going to subscribe to someone, yeah, you're paying. It's free market. It's capitalism. The opposite of capitalism is socialism. So yes, if someone charges too much, don't go there. Don't sign up for it. If they don't charge enough, join. If they charge the perfect amount, voila, you have harmony. That's what a free market's all about. So don't give Snippy a hard time for charging a lot of money on his all his little adventures. I think he makes good money, and good for him. Good on you, Snippy. And a lot of people just like being part of his world because he's really a fun guy. He's a nice guy. So yeah, same with the crypto viewing guys. They're awesome. If you're in a remote viewing, wow, That's a great service. The remote viewing guys for years had been trying to figure out a way to make money for this amazing talent that they had, and there's been a couple people who have tried, they never could. But I think these guys should do well at crypto viewing. So I'll look into that as well. Uh, Clint Westwood in the house. Crypto Nana. Boy, you guys are awesome. Don't you have jobs? What are you doing out there? I've never done a live chat in the morning, Horn of Z's, by the way. So I have no screen sharing to share with you. Although I would say everybody, and I did this for the private road members this morning, go look at Zero Hedge this morning and keep an eye on that. I'm working while listening. I love that. The funny thing is, when I really got into YouTube, I wasn't into YouTube at all. I started my channel. I started posting, I think, 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago. So a lot of people had the jump on me. Snippy's been on there for 8 years or something crazy. And it really took off, and it was a great way because I would listen. I didn't really watch videos, but I would put it in my pocket, my phone in my pocket, and I'd listen as I do go about my day or go for a walk or commute to work back then. Wine Chick, not a huge Snippy fan. Truthfully, a lot of people aren't. And Gregory Manarino debate. Gregory Manarino is stuck in the old system. I like him. Yeah, he's right when it comes to the old system. He just doesn't understand how much control that the computer market riggers have over the system. So it's not going to happen. No, the stock market dropped because this inverted yield curve. That's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's what they want you to think. It's not reality. In reality, there's a little dude, a little man behind the curtain, clicking on a mouse. It is exactly like the Wizard of Oz. So I don't know what I debate Gregory Manarino about. Do we disagree on anything other than I'm more of a figuring out who's doing the manipulating, and Gregory's more like looking at the data of the economy. I don't know if can somebody tell me what we disagree on. I don't think there is anything. I like Gregory. He's fine for what he does. And we all have our niche. Like I said yesterday, everybody has their niche on what they're bringing to the table. Let's see. Broken record, Manarino. Hey, they tell me I'm a broken record because I've been saying the same thing since 2007 when I found the Fed documents. The record's not fully broken. I have expanded and researched more and more, and I find out little bits everywhere. But yeah. Again, people figure out what they're good at, what they have to share with the community, and you guys, as listeners or as content providers, need to absolutely make up your own mind and do your own research and come to your own conclusions. Bold Pony says to watch Bitcoin in the stock market between September 10th and the 14th. Yeah, Bo has made many, 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 many predictions. But I agree. I agree with Bo. I saw John Kim hanging out with Bo and his wife. That was cool. I got no problem with Bo other than it's not that he makes so many predictions, is that his predictions, he says, are correct. And he's missed so many. That's the only problem I got with Bo. But I'm in there. Yeah, he kicks his predictions down the road. But it could, again, I've said it about my prediction of 9/11. It's a 3% chance today of financial chaos in the background, and a 1% chance yesterday, and a 1% chance tomorrow. It could happen at any time. Good guys versus bad guys. Is that what Manarino and I differ on? Does he not think there's any good guys or bad guys back there? He thinks it's all market driven. If he thinks that, I would love to debate him on that. if he thinks the market is a truth-telling machine, he's got a lot of things coming. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Clint Westwood. Bix tokens for sale, raise money for their crypto roadshows. There is a Bix token out there. I don't know who did it. I don't think it's worth anything. But no, I there's certain things I won't go down that road in cryptos because why would I want the ire of the regulators on me even more than they are. Regulators kind of like me because I'm exposing some stuff that they already know about. Like the Fed obviously likes me. They put me in their damn comic book. Um, so yeah, I don't know if a Bitcoin would go over that well. I have to really play within the guidelines. And I know Berwick's going to hate hearing this. I have to play within the guidelines of government and regulation. That's why I put all my cryptos in and trade cryptos. I don't trade much, but all my cryptos in a self-directed IRA because it's deferred tax payments and things like that. Um, so because I'm obviously if you're on YouTube, you're going to be a target. I think Snippy plays it a little loose with the regulations and coins that he promotes and things like that. Because those regulators, when they go after you, look at Reggie Middleton. When they go after you, they're gonna rip you a new one just because they want to. Yeah, I don't know where the ire and the anger came from the regulators about Reggie, but something happened that they're not telling us. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna hang on to my Very. And again, like I said yesterday, Very's gonna either be zero or one of the biggest cryptos in the world, in my opinion. And one of the biggest cryptos, not like after the SEC drops the suit and Veritasium is freely traded again and all that. No, because the exchanges won't trade Veritasium because they know it could replace the exchanges. But I do believe that it'll be interesting to watch. And don't bet the house on it, but everybody should have some Very if you ask. If you ask me, very important. All right. 4 years for Very. 4 years till what, Crypto Nana? That's the question. To me, it comes down to use case. And obviously, with Litecoin, the premier use case is as a means of exchange. And that means of exchange is extremely important if the banks crash and they line up in front of Congress and Congress says we bail you out or we don't bail you out. This time it'll be, I think, 20 trillion. And I don't think they'll bail them out. So then we're going to look at all our options as U.S. citizens, as free market participants. We can use the dollar because they're going to print it. They're going to keep printing that forever. We're going to use the gold and silver and cryptocurrencies. And within the cryptocurrencies, which is the highest regarded crypto as a means of exchange? Litecoin. All because of the song. No, it's not. It's not because of the song. It's because that's why Charlie Lee set it up. Oh my God. People are starting to talk about these days how coins were created. I think it's a great discussion. Were coins created fairly? Was it the early adopters that got them all, like on Steemit and EOS and all that, or was it created fairly and dealt with fairly over the years, and which ones are the upstanding coins? Other than Bitcoin, which had Satoshi and nobody knows who Satoshi is, Litecoin would be the second most fairly created coin, in my opinion. Just judging from how, listen to Charlie Lee's his interview when he talks about how Litecoin was created and how he didn't pre-mine any coins. Everything he did was so that the foundation of Litecoin would be to the top-notch standard, so that in the future, and he even sold all his Litecoin. He cares about Litecoin so much, he sold it all. Yes, he sold it at or near the top, and yes, he probably put it all into Bitcoin. He is not out of cryptocurrencies. But he's also not the central figure anymore of Litecoin. He doesn't have skin in that game. He's got skin in the game because Litecoin is his child, and he cares about humanity moving forward, in my opinion. So yes, Litecoin Lisa, Charlie Lee is solid. Absolutely a good guy. Clint, how you doing, bud? Litecoin network has been running without interruption for 8 years. Bitcoin can't say that. So Litecoin has been the longest running coin that has never had a large major hiccup. Mainly because it's core developers who write the software for Litecoin, and then Charlie implements it. Yeah, they call it the test net for Bitcoin. But yeah, it's an amazing coin. It's an amazing record. I think like Charlie needs permission and hasn't done his service. No haters here. Good. There were haters. There's a lot of haters when he sold. But they think on such a lower level. And now, obviously, it is amazing that Charlie is not invested in Litecoin because it gives it the chance, Litecoin, the chance to be the number one means of exchange. And if you follow Satoshi's white paper, that's what he invented, a peer-to-peer cash system. That's what it wasn't a store of value. And the core devs, I think they went sideways there. And then Roger Ver said the same and tried to invent something that could be used as a peer-to-peer cash system, which is Bitcoin Cash. And I think it was good that he did it. But I don't think it can scale fast enough without the Lightning Network. I think the Lightning Network is going to be the chosen platform going forward when the banks crash, whatever day or time. What time is it? Have the banks crashed yet? So yeah, I think, I think they'll both do well. I think a lot of the cryptos the ICOs that ICO in 2007, early 2008, and haven't built out their project. A lot of them have run out of money, so it's not necessarily fraud. But if they haven't built out their project now or have a concrete plan and followed their timeline, I don't think they'll be valued well going forward even in the next run up, because I think people will be when the big money comes in. It's just like the early days when you didn't understand cryptos. Bitcoin. It was hard enough to get your head around Bitcoin, much less all the altcoins. We're going to see the same type of thing because it's nervous people coming in, but they know they got to be in. They're going to start with Bitcoin and then go to Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash and Ethereum, and then start looking at all the other projects and stuff like that, in my opinion. But right away, it's so hard. I know these banker types. It's so hard for them to get their head around it, and then there will be some FOMO, and the FOMO will be going to, oh my God, it's Bitcoin only, kind of like Tone Vays or Andy Hoffman back in the day. Bitcoin maximalists, because they had such a hard time getting there in the first place because they were the experts in the field, supposedly. Well, Tone wasn't. He was a small-time broker at Lehman. He's quite a self-promoter. We all are, though, aren't we? On the YouTube space, we're self-promoters. You got to be. If you don't toot your own horn, who's going to toot it for you? Not many people. So, yeah. Wendell, if I was going to buy more silver, what do you recommend? 1 ounce Eagles, 5 ounce, 10 ounce bars. I recommend now 1 ounce junk silver, depending on price and how much the premiums are. Junk silver and 1 ounce. Because I think as the price of silver goes up and starts being freely traded, we're going to see $600 silver is Cliff High's data. They're going to care more about what's in that 100-ounce silver bar. And same with gold. Gold, you'd be insane to hold anything bigger than a 1 ounce. Even the 1 ounces, there's a lot of counterfeits out there because counterfeits are going to matter. Right now in the coin shops, they don't care. They'll like look at it. If it looks right, they'll take it. Or they'll do that scratch test. That scratch test does nothing for a coated bar. There's how much gold is on the top of some of these bars, and the scratch test doesn't. You got to drill into it. Truthfully, you have to melt it down. And when the value goes up so much higher, it's going to mean more. I have a buddy who has I think it's 1,000 ounce or 5,000 ounce Comex bar. It's this big. I go, first of all, you're not going to be able to sell that. You're going to have it melted down. He did it just for the fun of it because you can't even move it. But you're going to have it melted down. And you don't even know what's in that bar. He goes, oh, what do you mean? It's got the stamp on. I can put a stamp on anything. It's ridiculous. You can put a stamp on it. So yeah, generic rounds are great as long as you know that they're silver. The difference between the Eagles and the generics, there's a larger penalty, legal penalty, if you make fake Eagles. It's counterfeiting. So you can really do a lot more jail time. You're not going to find a lot of fake Eagles, some of them. But there's just more faith in the Eagles than there are in generics. And generics, there are fakes out there. So make sure you weigh them. You do the ping test. but because silver's been so low, it's not as profitable to make fake silver as it is fake gold, in my opinion. Give silver dollars to my family for birthdays and Christmas. Yeah, I do too. But I also give them cryptos, and the cryptos, obviously over the past 5 years, they're more happy with the cryptos under the tree than they were with gold and silver. So you might want to think about doing both. Give silver coin, and like I do on the Road to Ruta, for every private road member, we give a coin in a box and then a paper wallet stuffed with right now Theta and Theta Fuel. All right, American silver eagles are cool. Absolutely. Behind the Road to Ruta coin, they're the second coolest coin in the world. No, American silver eagles are beautiful. They're meaningful. If you go back to 1987, when they decided to make them, they're important. They were getting them out there for humanity, or for the U.S. citizens to use as money. I do a lot of research into that. The biggest problem with them is that they're part of the control mechanism at the U.S. Mint, because the U.S. Mint will take their inventory and use paper shorts against it to hedge their inventory, which is ridiculous. You're not in it to make money, U.S. Mint. You're in it to provide silver to the people. And that's how HSBC was the one that was running the silver manipulation at the time. Now it's probably JP Morgan that's hedging the U.S. Mint silver. So it's all ridiculous. Bix, what do you think about holding mining stock certificates over physical silver? I think it is a very, 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 very bad idea, and I did it myself. And here's why. Look at the volumes of trades. They're not trading. Those certificates are going to be worthless because there's about 10 people who claim to have the very same certificate. And if you have that one certificate, and the DTCC doesn't really allow it much anymore, and you walk into the mining camp, they say, get the hell out of here. They're going to. Everybody has a legitimate claim in the old electronic system. And just because you got the certificate doesn't mean they're going to do anything about that. Yeah, you'd have a better position in court after 10 years. So, yeah. And there'll be a lot of nationalization of mines. That's going to be the number one thing when the banks collapse. They're going to nationalize all the mines, even in the U.S. They talk about it in the Road to Ruta teacher's guide out of the Fed. Should the U.S. be mining, or should it be private enterprises? Read that document, because that will be a question. Do we nationalize the mines? Because every other country is going to nationalize the mines, especially if it's a U.S. holder, because everybody's going to be mad at the U.S. And if you have a mining company located in Mexico or Brazil, good luck. Good luck getting anything out of that. So that's my take. JMC, before Cubix was our only bastion of hope moving forward. I appreciate that tremendously. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Will Lair used to talk about that. His wife, Erica, used to say, how come Bix is the only guy saying positive things? And what was I saying? I was saying there's going to be a global collapse where everybody loses everything. And Erica says, well, that's more positive than, a global collapse and we get taken over by the Illuminati and all that bullshit. I'm not going to call it bullshit. I'm going to say, yeah, that's their plans, but there's another plan behind the scenes, and it's the people who control the money and the computers at the Fed and the at the U.S. Treasury that have the real control. They can click a mouse and drive silver to $1 million an ounce or zero. Same with crypto, same with the stock exchange, and they will at some point. They can take out the banksters that way, and has been my position since I discovered. I was a doom and gloomer. I was just like the Dick Allgaier and that gang for a long time, because that was the truth. The bad guys were in charge of us, and it wasn't until I discovered the Fed documents in 2007 that I started researching the other side of the story, the Q side, and the good guys versus the bad guys. I remember Chris Duane was a doom and gloomer as well. So, thoughts on stacking coins? If so, which ones? Yes, stack away. Stack coins of silver, number one. Gold, with silver prices so cheap, I'd say, swap all your gold for silver. You can get 70 to 80 coins. And stack coins in crypto too. I think especially Litecoin, because you're gonna need something to buy into the new system, and I think the new system will be heavily weighted towards Litecoin because of the way it was set up, because of the way it has been dealt with since Charlie Lee invented it. I do think Charlie is in touch with some people behind the scenes to make that happen. I don't know that, but it seems in the Road to Ruta documents that they would contact him, and the UN was at the Litecoin summit. So yeah, it makes you think, oh, how deep does this rabbit hole go? John, the 10th man, Bix, good morning. What is the likelihood that gold and silver will be confiscated? Thank you for your help and guidance. The likelihood in America is 0% chance that gold and silver will be confiscated. Why? Because nobody has any. They wouldn't get anything. Back in 1933, when the U.S. confiscated gold, it was money. Most of the people didn't have gold; they had silver, and that was not confiscated in 33. But so who were they confiscating from the gold? They were confiscating it from mainly the bankers and the rich people. That was the idea behind that. I don't see it ever happening again. I do see if the good guys win, freedom will reign. Confiscation of gold and silver will get them nothing because people don't have gold and silver. That's my take. Robert Lettingham, thank you for the super chat. What are your thoughts on the canceled Chinese railroad bonds that were mentioned the other day on Max Kaiser? I did not hear that Max Kaiser discussion, but I'm not a fan of derivatives. So China knows the derivative bubble is going to pop, and bonds are derivatives. Yeah, I would say I do believe that the biggest popping bubble will be the derivative bubble in bonds. So I would assume China's going to try to stay away from bonds, but it's part of the game. And China's playing the game with Russia and Trump and the good guys. I think they're all working together, and they know what's going to go on. We can't be sitting here talking about this stuff without them knowing. And clearly, the CIA and the NSA, they were in early on Bitcoin. Obviously, they called in some of the early guys to talk about Bitcoin. I think they were in on the development of it. Remember, Bitcoin wasn't just about the Satoshi white paper. All that did was fix one problem, a couple problems. But the main problem was the double spend problem. Electronic cash systems were being worked on by the Fed, the CIA, the NSA since the invention of computers, since John Kemeny. And then people got to try to invent on John Kemeny's publication of a new programming language called BASIC in the early 1960s. And John Kemeny was Alan Greenspan's buddy in high school. Kemeny was the real brains behind everything. I mean, he was the mathematician for Albert Einstein. That's how important that dude was. But he didn't buy into the cabal and all that, so he became a teacher and a lecturer. I'm not sure how involved he was, other than spreading computer programming to the masses. That was the guy, John Kemeny. Look him up. It's pretty interesting. All right. Hey, Jacob, thank you for the super chat. Your opinion on crypto.com crypto app. I don't know. I don't know that one. Is that the Roger Ver one? He was starting an exchange. I think that was bitcoin.com exchange. I don't know. I don't know what that is. And, it's funny thing is, like a lot of the crypto stuff, I think it's more important to expose the market rigging and criminality at this point for me and my customers than to chase down the next new crypto. And there might be some great ones that I'm going to be missing, but there's so many great YouTubers out there that are talking about, this new crypto idea. New crypto ideas are like, they're a dime a dozen. But there will be diamonds in the rough, absolutely. So, but I don't have the time, energy. I think my efforts are better spent tracking down and exposing the manipulation and where this is taking us for the good guys and the bad guys. So that's what I kind of focus on. If you like it, please. Let's see. Clint Westwood. You can buy Bitcoin at a crypto ATM. Yes, you can. You can. The best place to buy Bitcoin or get Bitcoin is from another person on peer to peer, and because it's completely untrackable, and it will always be untrackable. If you go to an ATM, there's usually KYC stuff where they can track your credit card. Um, but then again, the future is all about trackability, and the blockchain's open. It's an open ledger of all transactions. The key is, can they link the number, your public address, to your name and your household and your car loan and all that. But I think that was the bad guys' plan, is to control us with that. I think when the system falls apart and the banks fall apart, privacy and fair dealings will be more. First of all, we won't have the kind of tax structure we have now. The IRS will be gone. All that criminality will be gone because all the debt is gone. Everyone says, "Oh, they're going to tax cryptos forever." Well, then you're going to want to crash the old system, because if the old system crashes, nobody needs tax. We're not paying off the bankers anymore, and we're not going to have 35 million people working for the government anymore in the U.S. So we will find out. Let's see. Now is all you have says, I just got in. Have you talked about the $1 billion largest every Bitcoin transaction last night? I have not. There was a couple days ago, there was a transaction for $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. Everybody thinks it's related to the backed inventories, which is probably true. It's funny when you think of $1 billion. Geez, that's a lot of money. And then you think about all the billionaires out there. Yes, it's not that much money. And then you think about the Federal Reserve that has unlimited money and has printed quadrillions of dollars if they want to, and don't tell anybody. All of a sudden, $1 billion doesn't seem like that much. Did I comment on Divi? I did yesterday on Divi. I think a lot of what they're doing is great, but I don't like the inflation rate. I don't like proof of stake coins to be used as a currency. That would be my take on the coin. The company doing what they're doing it sounds great. They're getting credit cards. They sign up as a bank. The only problem though with signing up, buying a bank, is not only do you buy all the rights for the bank, you get the licenses that come with the bank, which is really cool. You also get all the liabilities of the bank. And I wouldn't want that if I was a company, because if the banks crash, your bank is crashing all of a sudden. If it's a leveraged lent bank, I don't know what bank they bought and what kind of assets they claim to have. But if it's any kind of bank, you're looking at huge leverage liabilities. So, hi, Bix. When to go into silver is now a good time. Yes, it's always a good time to go into silver. Silver's been manipulated for 150 years. So, yes, it's under control. I'm not saying it's not going to go down in price. If you're talking price, they can put it to zero with a click of a mouse. They can also put it to $1 million an ounce with a click of a mouse. So, price is a tricky thing when you understand that the price of everything has been controlled since the 1960s via computer programs. So, yeah, price is crazy. And is everything undervalued on cryptos and everything overvalued on stocks and bonds and all that? Probably, but nobody knows. Nobody knows. Where do you buy your Theta? I don't anymore right now because there's not really safe places to buy it. I think Binance had it, but I think as of September something, they got on Market Talks. There you go. None of the exchanges are safe though. I'm telling you right now, if you're gonna do it, buy it in small amounts. Get in and get out. Get out meaning take your coins off the exchange. First, do a test run to see if they are allowing withdrawals. Because a lot of times with a small coin like Theta, they'll say, "Oh, we're down for maintenance for 6 years." Bix, what about Load? I like the guys at Load. Load is a physical silver-backed crypto. It's a little more complicated than that, but David Morgan's involved. A lot of guys I like are involved. No, I do not. I did not invest in Load because I think the whole concept of load assumes that cryptos need some kind of physical backing. There's also the fact that you can trade silver, partial parts of silver with the token. I can see the benefit, but to me, cryptos don't need any backing at all. Cryptos are a standalone asset, a good crypto. As far as having third-party storage for your physical silver in a banking crash, it's a recipe for disaster. So yeah, I'm not an investor in Load. I was asked to invest in it. I decided not to, mainly because of the third-party storage stuff. If we do have a banking collapse, you can kiss that silver goodbye. Load goes to zero, and voila, it's over. Mainly because the guards guarding the door of the vault of Load have families to feed, and in that kind of chaotic Mad Max world, yeah, they're going to go into that vault, take all the silver, and walk away. So that's my take. Third-party risk is too high for me on that. And cryptos don't need backing, and silver doesn't need backing. Neither of them need each. Silver might need cryptos to use as fractional trading over long distances. So, but again, it doesn't outweigh the third-party risk. I heard KeepKey was safe, Mayan Man, but I don't use KeepKey. I use Trezor as a hardware wallet. But paper wallets, I think, are better if they're made correctly. Theta comment. Theta's been putting in the work. They stated that they will thrive with 5G. I agree. I think the Theta team is extremely good. The most thing I'm excited about Theta is I think they're going to hook up with Samsung at some point. Samsung keeps talking about they need a blockchain. They don't want it to be their own blockchain, and they're a huge investor in Theta, and Theta is a great blockchain. So I think that might happen. Maybe. Is there a way live completely off crypto and Bitcoin to live? Yeah, there are people. Look at Kim Bozak. He lives off crypto. Obviously, as more of the Visa / debit card stuff with cryptos, as that gets developed, like right now, you use BitPay and other Speedin is a Litecoin thing. You can use it. You can live off it pretty easily as long as people take credit and debit cards. Debit cards, I think it is. So can you live off a debit card? Yeah, then you can live off cryptos. Some of them like BitPay, you have to sell your crypto and get into cash before you can do the. But other ones are I hear, and that's a developing thing. Bozak lives on tree. Kid Bozak is awesome. He's never met a crypto he doesn't like. No, he does. He walks the walk, which is really good, and that's why I put him in a song of mine, the Crypto Warrior song. There's Kenny Bozak. He'll show up in your town. No fiat in his pocket, always dressed like a clown. But he pulls out his phone and pays for what he owes in cryptos. A classic tune, if you ask me. Wait for Litecoin Summit announcements tomorrow. Yeah, there's some good ones. And I am involved in the summit as well as our party. I'm going to be a busy little bear. I was going to say beaver. I don't want to say beaver. Busy little bear coming up. All right. Didn't Litecoin buy 9.9% of a German bank a year ago? It wasn't Litecoin. It was the foundation invested in that. The idea was to get the credit card. I don't think that investment turned out that great. They need to stick to what they understand, Litecoin code. But the Litecoin Foundation is more than just the few people that work in the foundation that are self-funded, so we need to support the Litecoin Foundation. Go to the Litecoin Summit. The Litecoin Foundation includes the Litecoin community, and the Litecoin community is I'm in it. There's no card that says, "Hey, I'm a Litecoin community guy." If you like Litecoin and you want to talk about it and you want to spread the word, you are part of the Litecoin community, and it's a great community. It's out of all the communities in cryptos, it is the best community because of you and me. And look at all these Litecoin people on this chat. They're all trying to spread the word of adoption because they understand adoption is what the world will need if we have a banking collapse. We can pass this problem on to our kids like our grandparents passed it on to us, or we can spread the word of adoption so that at the time we need it, when the banks collapse and come to Congress and say we need 20 trillion, we're going to have options. And I think the number one option in the crypto verse will be Litecoin. And Litecoin has positioned everything Charlie Lee has done and the foundation has done has been positioned itself to be that tool that Satoshi Nakamoto talked about, the electronic peer-to-peer cash system. And Charlie right now, he even announced that he's working on some code for the Mimblewimble adoption, which is it's an off-chain optional privacy option in Litecoin, which would be really cool. So you can use it or not use it. I think is the idea. I'm not an expert in that. I'm not an expert in coding. Never was. Although I did, one of my first jobs, believe it or not, in the banking world was for GE Capital Computer Leasing. And I was dealing in Digital Equipment Corporation, big VAX machines. They're gone now, DEC equipment. They're long gone, but they were the huge mothers. And now, of course, these multi-million-dollar computer systems probably has about the same power as your phone, but this was in the early 90s that I worked there. So that was my, on the hardware side of computers. That's as deep as I got into computers, although I took a couple classes in programming back in college, and I wasn't very good at it. But a lot of these guys, a lot of my friends back in that day, not a lot, but a few, were programmers in the early 80s, and boy, they did extremely well. It's kind of like crypto programmers now. If you want to know, if you're a kid starting out and you're interested in computers, you want to know a job, get into cryptocurrency and programming and anything involved in cryptos, because you're in high demand right now, and it's just going to go crazy. And you could pick your job and pick your salary in the future, which is kind of cool. Woohoo! 100 likes, sweet. And don't forget to subscribe. My subscriber base has been hovering in the same spot for over a year. I was going up like 5,000, 10,000 a year for a while. And then YouTube came down, put the hammer down on a lot of us. And yeah, Snippy hasn't changed. I haven't changed. Bitcoin Ben hasn't changed. We're not allowed to be, basically, they're not allowing this type of information to get out to the public. And it is just ridiculous and brutal. And go watch Sean's latest post at SGT Report. I don't know if it was Patreon or his private channel or YouTube. I think he put it on YouTube, but he was absolutely right. There was there's a psychological. It was a paper that was written about how to destroy a YouTube influencer's morale and channel. And yeah, SGT Report, he rocks. Come on, Mayan Man. Come on, Biggs. Help me out. I value your opinion. Do you think a paper wallet is better than KeepKey? Yes, if made in the correct way. But I'm old school. If I make a paper wallet that I know it's never gone on the internet, I know everything about that wallet, where it's been, and you make the correct paper wallet, then you're safe. With KeepKey, you don't know if it's been messed with because you can't see the code inside. You're trusting other people that they've analyzed the open source software, that there's no bugs in it, there's no glitches and all that. If you make your own wallet, it's all up to you. You don't have to trust anybody else. But I heard KeepKey is great. So I would say paper wallet over KeepKey. Yeah, that's my take. All right, we got 5 minutes. Somebody had chastised me yesterday because I was so abrupt when I ended my my live chat that people didn't get to say goodbye to each other on the chat room. I don't know how these chat rooms work when you go live. So I will be finishing in 5 minutes and 30 seconds on the dot. So if you want to say goodbye to anybody in the chat room, go for it. Yeah. Let's go one more question. Here's a, oops. Oh shoot! I deleted Royston Hibbert's question. Sorry, dude, I hit the wrong button. But it was, do I own? Can you send that question again? I was trying to read it and I hit delete. But do I still own? I think it was PPT and let's see, where is it? So somebody tell me what he had said. I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. I know I own almost all the cryptos. There it is. PPT, PPP, 10x, and ADX. Yes. 10x, no. No, that's the pay token, I believe. I don't own as much as I had. I got rid of some of it when they ran afoul of the European credit card. They were pulling their credit card away and all that. Um, so that was the pay token, I believe that was. But yeah, and I own Pillar as well. Pillar as a token. I use the Pillar wallet. I think it's a great wallet. I don't see all that much value of. Don't let them bash Cliff. Yeah, nobody bashes Cliff on my channel. That's an easy way to get deleted. Um, but yeah, the Pillar. I love their wallet. It's a great wallet. Um, the issues with Pillar is where's the value in the token, and also the structure, a decentralized structure of management and all that. Although it sounds great, it's hard to get things done, and I think they ran out of a lot of money. So I still owned what I had, and I used their wallet all the time. I think a lot of those, because they did what they said they were going to do, not the full extent. It took a little longer, but of all the ICOs, the companies that do what they say they were going to do are the ones that should be successful in the future. Yes, I still own Salt and I own Dent. They're doing what they said they are going to do. It's going to take the next run up, though, for those really to get moving. They are a lovely team at Pillar. I agree. I don't fully see where the value of the token. I see the wallet is awesome, but the token it'll take a long time and a lot of convincing. And in the meantime, other coins will do much better, in my opinion. How's that? But I still own those coins, and I'm a hodler, so I will hang on to them. You don't want to sell them at the bottom unless you want to take losses to offset gains in other places. That's thinking about tax consequences and things like that. All right, let's go. One last question. I got 2 minutes. 2 minute warning. You guys, if you want to say goodbye to each other, go for it. Oh, here's Amy. Come over here, Amy. Come say hi. She's just good.
Jacob Hackle.
Yeah.
He gave you $200 already, and you have not answered his question.
Okay. Jacob Hackle.
Hackle.
Jacob Hackle. What was your question? I didn't see it.
I believe the Crypto.com app guys are ahead of time when it comes to crypto.
Okay. Crypto.com stuff. They might be great. I don't know. Oh, there he is. Shared silver because of you, Bix. Thanks for your great work. The Crypto.com guys, Jacob says, are ahead of their time. Yeah, if they are, that's awesome. I just haven't done that much research into it, and I really haven't. How can I say this? I haven't done much research into any new coins. I get all the time. I'll get flooded with, oh, here's a new project. This is the one. This is the one. And I really don't have the time, energy, or the need to really go after them because I've made some. I placed my bets in some great places, and all it would mean is that I'd have to move something from a crypto that I understand and have made a serious time investment and money investment in, and move it to something else that I don't really know anything about. But hey, thanks for the super chats and thanks for participating. All right, all you guys say goodbye to each other. I'm signing off here. I want to thank you guys. Be alert and aware today, especially 9/11, but also keep an eye on the financial system over the next 3 to 6 months. It's gonna get worse and worse and worse before it gets better. I don't know what cryptos are going to do. If the exchange is shut down, obviously there'll be no price for cryptos, so keep that in mind. But I'm sure that the bad guys have their plans for us too. So we keep fighting the fight and absolutely stay happy and safe out there. This is Big Square signing off. I'll talk to you guys later.